Welcome, everyone, to race 9 of the AT&T Champ Car World Series season. Welcome to the first of 2 races here at Nazareth Speedway. The NOS Energy 225 will kick off shortly here. 26 cars set to begin with post-Indianapolis 500 portion of their campaign following the 111th running of the Indianapolis 500 just 6 days ago. Wyatt Jones victorious at the Brickyard, but he's got some work to do here today if he wants to try to replicate that here at Nazareth. Wyatt Jones, pole sitter at this race a year ago. This time, it's BK Glover at the front of the field. The Verizon Team Impulse car pole position after a phenomenal run at Indianapolis, finishing 3rd just 6 days ago. Alongside is Stephanie Porter-Kelly on the front row. You see that Sunoco yellow and blue machine. 2 of the top 3 cars still on the front row from the Indianapolis 500 to tonight. It is a very interesting grid makeup here across Nazareth Speedway, this 225-lap race. 1 of 2 this weekend. This one under the lights here in Nazareth, Pennsylvania. Artem Kozlov, after having to do a recovery drive at Indianapolis, the start of the season not going according to plan for them. They start on the inside of row 2 alongside Arrowhead Racing's Alicia Kovalkiewicz. Hazel Leon, the 32 car, gets to start this race from a little bit further up the field. The 32 car, first time in Nazareth for Leon, will start top 5. Row 3 alongside the defending IndyCar World Champion Nicole Lechty. News coming out there with the 78 machine with Lechty, that Red Bull Highlight Racing set to have a lot of changes coming up there for the Swiss-based squad. Lechty's spot confirmed and secured. They just need to get those cars out of the bottom of the order. Bottom 4 and relegation risk compared to the Challenger Series here as we begin the second third of the Champ Car World Series campaign. Sakura Ishibashi, Wyatt Jones, they make up row number 4, the defending Indianapolis 500 winner. Sitting in the Menards, yellow and black machine. Ishibashi in that Kodak red and yellow. Andrew Draco back in the Adidas white and black machine. He starts inside row 5 alongside Cameron Jackson. The Dragon Motorsports team having to recover from what was, admittedly for them, an abysmal campaign at the Brickyard 6 days ago. Evangeline Porter and Natalia Velicevic sit in row number 6. Ahead of Juliet Takani and Shufan Zhang, who make up row 7. Elise Alexander and Mateus Michelin sit in row 8 for Striker Motorsports. Then it's Mia Valdez and Thomas Rogers in row 9. Kage Kobayashi, after missing Indianapolis last week, back in force here, starting in row 10 alongside Simona Leroux. Row 11, Catherine Hart and Marcus Petrovich make up that row, 21st and 22nd for them. Bianca Lucero and Anastasius von Sonen sit in row number 12. In the last row of the grid is Esther Hofson and Astrid Crane. Crane serving part of a penalty after having an engine failure at Indianapolis just 6 days ago. Only being able to serve 3 of those positions. The remainder will carry on to next race tomorrow at Nazareth, depending on where Crane finishes today. It has been a wild time in the week leading up to this. A busy time for Wyatt Jones, who has had to travel from Indianapolis to New York to LA, and then all the way back here to Pennsylvania, here on the East Coast. Eastern Pennsylvania, this 0.946 mile racetrack. So interesting, so peculiar in the fact that it is a 3-turn racetrack, similar to that Pocono Raceway, but a lot smaller. High downforce wings in effect here, and it will be an electric race for these 225 laps. We're looking at potentially record-setting pace-wise for this race compared to other races. You look at Phoenix, you look at Dover, you look at New Hampshire, other mile-long racetracks. This could be the trendsetter. It's a busy weekend for the World Series. The Challenger Series races tomorrow at New Hampshire. But right now, all eyes in prime time belong to the Champ Car World Series. It is almost time to hear the command to fire engine, so we'll send it trackside for those most famous words.
Drivers, start your engines!
26 of the fastest cars on the planet Roar to life. It is BK Glover and Stephanie Porter-Kelly. Front of the field, Artyom Kozlov, Alicia Kovalkiewicz in row 2. Nighttime race tonight, daytime race tomorrow. Going to give us a lot to talk about as we get ready to go. '24 IndyCar World Championship gets tighter and tighter. Evangeline Porter leading by 10 points. The swing not as severe as it could have been. The championship, though, as tight as it ever has been, as the Ford Raptor pace truck takes the turn onto the warm-up lane towards pit lane. It is Glover, Porter-Kelly, Kozlov, and Kovalkiewicz top 4. Leon and Lechty top 6. Green flag flies, and away we go. Porter-Kelly with an early jump there, waiting for the green flag, so legal on that start there. And these quick race cars going to be sporadic on the opening laps as everyone scrambles for position. This is not a passing-oriented racetrack as Glover gets to the race lead. Kozlov to second, Leon to third. Porter-Kelly drops to fourth early. But they are flying here at Nazareth early, and they expected to. Temperature is perfect, grip level's perfect. These tires, these Blackwall Firestone tires, durable, able to extend the lifespan of the pace that we're seeing right now. What could be a one-stop race if they want to stretch the fuel out far enough. But that does require some fuel saving. We'll see if anyone takes up that idea to try to make this a one-stop race. Traffic will be critical. Here comes Porter-Kelly back on Leon. And Hazel Leon now under threat from teammates Sakura Ishibashi. Teammates from Team Impulse a couple years ago, now teammates for Cat Devil Racing. As they go side by side through turn 2. Look at Andrew Draco, he's up several spots as well. And turn 3 is where it really bites you here. This is a relatively flat racetrack. At its most angled in the corners, 9 degrees is it. This track is almost as flat as New Hampshire. But you're constantly turning through it, it feels like, with these 3 corners that are all separated here. There's Alicia Kovalkiewicz, who has dropped from 4th to 6th, having gotten back around Porter, Evangeline Porter there, the 81, that 5th, 3rd bank machine now sitting in 7th. There's Andrew Draco, Sakura Ishibashi in 4th. It is a Verizon Team Impulse 1-2 in the early stages here. Average lap time here at Nazareth is blistering. Fastest lap so far set by Kozlov, a 177.3 mile-an-hour lap time. That's 19.410 seconds for the Airbus number 3. And it is absolutely electric right now. Top 3 cars led by Glover. Anchored by Porter-Kelly. Trying to waltz away from this fight here is Ishibashi. There's Draco right now sitting in the top 5 ahead of Kovalkiewicz, who stays ahead of Porter. Leon. There is Julia Takani, who had a really good surge forward. Did not start this race top 10, but is up tonight ahead of Wyatt Jones, who lost a couple spots from 8th to 10th. Peeks to the inside, nothing doing. It will be difficult to make passes here early on. This is a very durable tire. Unlike what we'll see tomorrow with the higher heat on the track, the higher track temperature, and the alternate compound tires will be very critical there. We'll see different strategies come into the mix. The biggest strategy right now is going to be how you manage traffic. Expecting to see a lot of it as this race continues on, provided everyone minds their P's and Q's. There's Anastasius von Sonnen, who qualified 26th and currently still sitting in 26th at the moment. And struggling to keep up, that is Marcus Petrovich in 25th. He was also struggling to keep touch with Cameron Jackson. That's Simona LaRoe, the 77. As for Crane in the 80, the Paya Pro machine, there's Esther Hobson in the 28. Bianca Lucero sitting right now in the 20th position. Shufin Zhang right now in 20th in that Wed Sport number 20, that blue, yellow, and white machine right now on the tail end of the same group involving Nicole Lechty, Thomas Rogers, Matthias Michelin, Catherine Hart, and this is 42. It is the 42 of Kage Kobayashi. So two Micro Center cars, Kobayashi with the white wings. And if you picturize further backwards here, Petrovic with the blue rear wing. The big telltale sign of the different cars here. Glover isolated here, and that's the reason why Porter Kelly's gotten around Artyom Kozlov, and Kozlov now beginning to spearhead a flight downwards in the running order. And here comes Porter on Andrew Draco. It is an actual dogfight right now. We were not expecting this level of fighting early on in this race. We thought it was going to settle down in the early stages in traffic, and Dirty Error would have to make its way to the front of the field as lap traffic became a factor. That is not the case right now. They are all duking it out in this race so far. That is the 34, Mia Valdez, that Pepsi machine, ahead of Natalia Velisevich. Three energy drink cars. You got the NOS 95 of Takani. You got the 7 Monster Energy car making its first appearance in the season with Natalia Velisevich, an all-black car. And then you have the Red Bull 77 of Simona Leroux. This is the NOS Energy 225. So home race for Takani's sponsor on that car. And Takani right now sitting top 8. They've gotten around. There's Alexander, that Geico at number 11. Everyone making some road inwards here. Ishibashi has dispatched herself from the clutches of Draco and Porter. Now trying to catch up to Porter Kelly and Glover. The front two, as they started, now where they are right now. Glover's led the first 18 laps in this race, uncontested. That's about to change with Porter Kelly on the rear, the gearbox really, of that number 6 machine. Porter Kelly agonizing over her loss at Indianapolis to the hands of Wyatt Jones. He finished second at the Brickyard last weekend. Put her hand up and said that her mistake cost her the race. It wasn't a team issue, it was a driver issue. And one that we don't see from Porter Kelly very often. She's out for blood now. Ishibashi looking for a race win. If she can grab one, that'd be great. Anything to put that season on track for the 33 car in the same lull we saw last season with Ishibashi to kick off the season. That was her first season with Cat Double Racing since her rookie campaign in 2016. And there are some teething issues. There's been a lot of growing pains this season as well. Obviously, the loss of Kenosha for the season due to injury from Homestead Miami over a month ago has put Hazel on, a familiar face, beside Ishibashi, and Ishibashi showing that there is pace in that 33 car, sitting right now in third and on an island away from Andrew Draco and Evangeline Porter. Porter looking pretty strong as well. Kozlov stemmed the bleeding and ended up staying in 6th place there, ahead of Leon, Takani, Jones, and Alexander. Porter Kelly trying everything she can right now to find a way around the 6 car. Glover is the fastest car on the racetrack, all things considered. 19.354 second lap. This is 177.8 mile an hour lap that Glover set as the fastest lap of the race. Absolutely outstanding stuff so far. Porter Kelly's best lap so far, a 19.463. And as we look a little further back, there is Kozlov, who went from 2nd to 6th, ahead of Leon though, as they race together, the 3 and the 32. There is Juliet Takani. In that 8th spot, here comes Wyatt Jones, peeks to the inside, looking at turn 3 as a potential area, and here he goes. What a sin for Wyatt Jones. Absolutely just licked the stamp and went for it, and will send to Takani out of the top 10. Jones telegraphed that move out of turn 2, and it worked out. And now Takani down in front of Velicevic here. Velicevic in 12th. Takani now 11th place ahead of her teammate Kovalkiewicz as well. There is Kobayashi. After missing Indianapolis last weekend, now sitting in the 14th spot here. Ahead of Catherine Hart, there is Matthias Michelin. There's Thomas Rogers at Verizon Fios, number 2. Nicole Lechty, there is the 20 of Shifan Zhang as well, who fell several positions on the initial start. Then you have this cluster of 7 cars right there together. They're already 12.8 seconds adrift right now, and what is a sub 20-second lap time. We will see lap traffic in this race in no time. As Glover still leading the way. He's led every lap so far. We're coming to complete lap 30. He's led all 30 laps so far in this race. Porter-Kelly has yet to lead a single lap, neither did Kozlov. These two separated by less than a tenth across the line that last time. Ishibashi 1.3 adrift as these cars stay right now in a heel step. There is Ishibashi. These cars rapid, but the lap times beginning to go up as tire wear begins to become a factor just a little bit for the drivers here. 3/10 the average lap time loss across the field at the moment. Andrew Draco right now sitting in that 13th spot. Sorry, in car 13, 4th spot. Evangeline Porter is sitting in 5th. And then Kozlov struggling to get back to the 81s. Gearbox there sitting right now in the 6th position. Overall, not a bad place to be. Wyatt Jones, his move put him up into the 8th spot as he tries to shave away at those ahead of him. Wyatt Jones, they're sitting in 8th spot. Look at Elise Alexander right now sitting in 9th ahead of Mia Valdez. Homestead race winner. Sitting right now in that 10th position. "37 laps in to the NOS Energy 225. You see how quick all these cars are running at the moment. It is absolutely electric watching these cars just roll through the corners at the speed they are right now. The lap times, they are decreasing little by little. Good look high above the racetrack here, high above the billboards in the back straightaway. Everyone trying to scramble a little bit closer together. Three laps a minute is the run time we're looking at right now. Eventually these lap times will eventually cross over above 20 seconds. They're at 19.7 range right now. And Mercedes von Sonnen, the last car running in the field, already above 20 seconds in the lap time. He is losing pace and losing touch. There is Von Sonnen that we were looking for there with our TV cams. Just now entering turn number 3. Still listing lap times from the race leaders, all things considered. Saw Draco look to the inside just a little bit there on Ishibashi. Didn't make any inroads there. Just peeked to the inside, trying to get some fresh air to the nose of that 13 car. Very physical race, as will tomorrow. But they have clawed back in on Ishibashi. And that's very important. Ishibashi tried pulling away. Now on the other end of it, and potentially under threat. And here comes some lap traffic coming up. Around to complete lap 48 here at the Nazareth Speedway in Nazareth, Pennsylvania. It is BK Glover, your race leader right now, and he's got a handle lap traffic here. Von Sonnen in the first car, he's got a handle, and then there's a gaggle of 6 others just up the road. Sonnen gonna try to fight, to try to keep on the lead lap here. And it's really slid up Glover. Now Glover below the 22nd range, and this is going to allow everyone behind them, Ishibashi included, to close in on this fight. And now there's even more cars to deal with as Glover's gonna have to try to manage this, while also trying to stay ahead of a 3-time world champion. Glover's trying, there he goes. Von Sonnen moved up the racetrack just a little bit, and that's the door that Glover needed to have open. And just in the nick of time, too, because here's Porter Kelly, and there is Ishibashi as well. And Ishibashi gonna struggle to get around the 76 of Von Sonnen. Got tight in that dirty air. Thankfully, the leaders aren't really going anywhere immediate because they've got more lap traffic ahead of them. That is Petrovic and Lucero. Next on the catbird seat. Here we go, battle for the race lead. Porter Kelly looks to the inside of Glover. Glover trying to hang it on the outside there through turn 2. It does not work out. Porter Kelly becomes the race leader. Lead change for the first time in the day, and it's Porter Kelly up front now. That 60 Sunoco Chevrolet takes the lead of the race. And now she has to deal with the lap traffic of Petrovic and Lucero. Porter Kelly wastes no time getting around Petrovic, throwing him backwards towards Von Sonnen and the rest. And Lucero's not going to have a very different fate in terms of going a lap down. This is where it does get tricky. You see the whole bottleneck here from third on down. Stuck behind Von Sonnen, and everyone glances in and out of line. Glover gets around Lucero as well. So will Petrovic. So Petrovic makes a pass for position there for 24th to get around the San Marinese. So move Petrovic up a spot over Bianca. And Ishibashi trying, sending it to the inside, just does not have that car hooked up to handle this level of dirty air and traffic at the moment, and it's very obvious where the weakness of that 33 car lies. And Von Sonnen's got a lot of reasons to fight here as Kozlov looks to the inside of Draco and sails it to the inside here. Draco's going to lose several spots to Leon and to Wyatt Jones, and maybe to Alexander. If Alexander can get there, she cannot. So Draco stays 7th in that exchange. But now Kozlov trying to move forward. Front two have walked away. There are more cars to take care of here. Cameron Jackson, Simona LaRoe, Esther Hofson, and Astrid Crane are all coming up here in no time at all. Coming to complete lap 65 here at Nazareth Speedway. It is Porter Kelly that is now leading. She has now led 10 laps in this race. Glover's led 55. The only 2 race leaders so far. They are 1-2 right now, but opposite of the starting order. Meanwhile, this group losing touch rapidly with the race leaders that are now in the clear as things stand. Wyatt Jones under threat from Andrew Draco out of turn 2. Does he send it to him? No, Jones stays ahead. Draco give it a shot. And here it goes, Ishibashi finally finding a way around the 76 of Von Sonnen. And you can bet Kozlov will try to make quick work as well. Turn 2 just not friendly towards making that happen, but here goes Kozlov to the inside. And that helps out Leon as well. They all begin to circulate a way around this group. Ishibashi's got to find a way around now. The 88 of Lucero. It'll be very interesting to see how that handles here. Porter Kelly has left BK Glover behind just a little bit by about 7/10 as she tries to reel in the next group of lap cars on her radar. We are completing lap 71. 154 laps to go here in Nazareth. And it is magic right now for Porter Kelly in her element. This is where she returned to racing in Champ Car last season. She raced the final 3 races. That was spearheaded by a race here. She was one of the last people to race at Nazareth before this track initially closed in 2004. basically rebuilt from the ground up by Dreamcatcher Promotions to bring racing back to Nazareth. You'll see some imagery and some work of the original tenure of the original Nazareth Speedway from 1910 to 2004, when it was shut down and ultimately needed to be demolished and rebuilt. More modern amenities present at this racetrack, safer barrier. You'll notice all the way around the outside wall. Now traffic slowing up the race leaders. As Crane now tries to stay on the lead lap. Lap 79 underway. Now lap 80. As Glover tries to find a way around to take that lead back. And you see everyone getting around Lucero. They have lost a lot of time. 8 seconds now the gap between the top two and everyone else. Ishibashi's struggle became everybody's struggle. But now they've got only one more car to deal with, and that is Marcus Petrovich. Ishibashi in third, Kozlov in fourth, Leon fifth, Wyatt Jones top six ahead of Alexander. Right now there is Natalia Velisevich, who's gotten around Evangeline Porter, her teammate there for Atomic Autosport. Alicia Kovalkiewicz has moved into the top 10 around Mia Valdez and around Julia Takani. There's Kaika Kobayashi, there is Catherine Hart. And more of a descent for Andrew Draco, whose tires have begun to fall away pretty dramatically. Now Alexander struggles to get around the 88 of Lucero. Now that Ishibashi's dispatched Lucero and has some clean air, that gap that was 8 seconds coming down more and more because these two leaders are struggling to get around this pair of cars with Crane and Hassan. You have 3 cars a lap down, but all 26 cars still running in this race here at Nazareth Speedway as they come to complete lap 85 of 225. Taking a look at all the race cars all around the racetrack here. As they roll through, this is from pit entry. We'll see pit stops here shortly, and those 26 teams will try to get action going for their drivers. Thomas Rogers just went a lap down in the 2 car. I wonder if there was a pit stop being made there as Catherine Hart gets past. Yeah, and that is not a scheduled stop. That is a prolonged time in pit lane for Thomas Rogers, who missed Indianapolis last week. Now 3 laps down. You lose time in a hurry here at Nazareth. As he sits in the pit lane, there he goes. A long time in pit lane, but he's out and running now. Comes out ahead of Marcus Petrovich. Ishibashi's clawed back in over a second, now down to 6.7 seconds the gap. It's very hard to make past that when everyone's going at a pretty similar relative speed compared to you. Looking for a way around to get back to the race lead. Levers led 55 laps. He led the first 55 consecutively. Porticali's led the last 36 laps. As they complete lap 93 on 94, make that 38 laps for Porticali. You see Leon got around Artyom Kozlov for 4th. So Leon taking pretty well to Nazareth Speedway in her first time racing at the mile-long triangle. Teammates 3 and 4 there for Kent-Dover Racing. Remember, Wyatt Jones was strong here last year. Started on pole position, his first and only so far career pole in Champ Car competition came right here in Nazareth. Spoke to Wyatt prior to today. Said the media activities this week had him drained beyond belief. Didn't realize how much went in to being a champion of the Indianapolis 500. Now he does, and he says that he's enjoyed it for everything it's worth. Nothing better, though, for the Atlanta native than being able to climb into the cockpit and get back racing once again. He's got 2 races this weekend on his plate. There is Alexander also closing in now on this group with Natalia Velicevic here. Porter's also broken away. Same with Kovalevich, Valdez, and Takani. They've all gotten ahead of Lucero. Everyone breaking away at different intervals here. Mola sitting right now in the 20th spot. Right now being saved from being under 30 going a lap down by the likes of Asher Crane and Esther Hobson, a pair of Hondas. Right now holding up this group. Thomas Rogers got to be very careful here. Fast rest tires of all the drivers in the field. That's a teammate though in front of him that he's got to be very tiptoey around, as he is 5 laps down right now. Ishibashi now being slowed up by Marcus Petrovich. Critical to find a way around the 21 before we get to the pit stops here. It looks pretty set, though. We will have just a singular pit stop here in race 1. These two are being really frustrated right now by Crane and Hofson, who are battling to stay on the lead lap. If a caution were to come out for some reason, they'd stay on the lead lap as the field got reset. And that's very important. A very important detail. Especially in that relegation risk battle right now, which Crane and Hofson are both in. Same with both of the Red Bull Highlight Racing cars of Lechty and Leroux. The 21 of Marcus Petrovic. 31 of Catherine Hart, which right now is sitting in the 16th position. And the car leading this race right now is Stephanie Porter-Kelly. Not high up in the points entering this race, despite a great result at Indy. Further back, still issues for Ishibashi, trying to find a way around Marcus Petrovic. Right now, they're still gaining a little bit with these two stuck behind slower cars. They're just not gaining as much as they would like to gain at this point. Down the back straightaway to turn 3. Sure, a lot of drivers will be making adjustments to try to make those cars handle a little bit better in dirty air as this race goes along. Riders so far staying in station right now. They'll gain a couple of those laps back when pit stops take place for the race leaders. Coming to complete half of this race. We're on lap 111. Lap 13 begins the second half of the NOS Energy 225 here in Nazareth. And you see a car come in. That is Esther Hofson in the pit lane. And that leaves Crane all alone in front of the race leaders. The leaders come down pit lane. Does Crane come down pit lane? Not this time. Here she goes, and this could be a pit stop, actually. No, just trying to get around Crane, and does so. And Glover will as well. That is Hofson coming out of pit lane now. Whoa, watch out! No! Huge crash! Hofson and Von Sonen. As drivers come down pit lane, trouble. Pit stops had begun in earnest. Kelly trying to get to pit lane. Trouble as Crane gets turned around by Glover. Everyone just trying to get to pit lane. So trouble early. That is Hofson that got spun around by Von Sonen. Realistically, it is the other way around. It's Hofson that spun around Von Sonen, and they both just ate the safer barrier here. Several cars a lap down. Crane had just went a lap down. And this was on Hofson's return from the pit lane. Just a standard stop. for Hofsson. Four tire stop. 18.5 gallons of Speedway fuel. Slow 37-mile-an-hour crawl out of pit lane. As the race leaders make their way on through. Hofsson on fresh tires. Nearly just sends it on the 76. Von with work to do. Now I have to hazard a guess some of the drivers that came down pit lane early may be in trouble. You look at Ishibashi, you look at potentially Artyom Kozlov and others that came down pit lane when the caution came out. Could be problematic. Right now it is Natalya Velisevich leading the way in that number 7 machine. They have a surface stop and go penalty for entering a closed pit lane. They're going to be in trouble here. Cheryl pit lane stays just 1 lap down. Thomas Rogers still 5 laps down. This was not the caution he needed. Crane, Petrovich, Lucero 1 lap down. Von Sonnen 2, Hofsson 3. Shufenjang, Kagikobayashi lead the field. They were stuck behind the pace car. No wave rounds here. So they will control the restart and hope that another quick caution comes out. Pace truck is in. Green flag flies and away we go. And immediately look at Ishibashi, look at Kozlov and Porter Kelly. Cars back on pit lane. That was Esther Hofsson, one of them, for more repair work being done. And the fight is on in front of the field. And look at someone that had to come down pit lane. It is Natalya Velisevich. As Crane still in pit lane. Hofsson leaving pit lane now. Crane got turned around with BK Glover there and tagged the wall. So work being done on that 80 car as well, but not the race that they were looking for. Ishibashi now leads the race over Artyom Kozlov and Elise Alexander. Stephanie Porter Kelly led 60 laps in this race, now sitting in 4th. BK Glover down in the 15th position, did not have a great pit stop in that number 6 car. But he is on a roll right now, making up spots. That's Kovalkiewicz dropping backwards. And there's Hazel Leon driving backwards as well. A lot of the cars that were in that top 5. Stop and go for that entering closed pit for Natalya Velisevich. Has put Velisevich a lap down. Under threat here from Nicole Lechty. This is for the 10th spot. Lechty takes 10. As things run right now. Very scrambled up field though, as things run. Immediately dealing with lap traffic on this restart. And Ishibashi, we know, was not well prepared to deal with lap traffic. Made adjustments on the pit stops there. Try to get that car dialed in a little bit more for dirty air. Trying to stay ahead of Artyom Kozlov. Alexander right now staying third. Porter Kelly in fourth. Sisters fourth and fifth. It's Porter Kelly and Porter, Stephanie and Evangeline. Had Mia Valdez, Wyatt Jones seventh, Juliet DeConi eighth, Andrew Draco ninth, Cole Lecter your top 10. Feeling that there's going to be a move for the race lead coming here imminently if Ishibashi cannot clear Shupin Zhang and Kagi Kobayashi. On lap 131, coming to start lap 132 at 2:25. It has been a rapid race so far. PK Glover still holds the fastest lap from earlier in this race. Probably because everyone right now is handling traffic. No one's been able to waltz away at the front of the field right now. There's a car in pit lane. Further down the order. The cars that are lingering here. No cars in pit lane. A couple wounded cars though, with both Crane and Hoffson. Multiple laps down. Actually, there was a car in pit lane. It was Juliet DeConi. Juliet DeConi out with a mechanical issue of some kind. 95 car retiring from race 1. Does not bode well. We'll check to see what that mechanical issue was that led to retirement of the 95 car. First time out of the race is not Crane, it's not Hoffson, it's not Rogers, it is Takani from the lead lap. In the top 10 nonetheless. Watch this battle. Front, there's Cameron Jackson in pit lane. That's interesting as well. Not where he wants to be right now. Cameron Jackson was on the lead lap. He'll go laps down easily as well. He checks up Andrew Draco. Jackson 1 lap down in the 18th spot. Sorry, 20th spot now. Esther Hobson now in front of Kobayashi and company. Try to find our way around the wounded number 28 car now. Got Aaron Hobson there. Relatively unscathed. Further down the order. Cameron Jackson, so 2 teammates there. Dragon Motorsports not having a great day. 2 of their cars a lap down. The third trying to stay on the lead lap with Shufan Zhang in 17th. Everyone jockeying for positions right now here. Alexander, Porter Kelly, Valdez, Jones, Velisovich, and Porter all in this group right behind Ishibashi and Kozlov. Less than 75 laps to go here in the NOS Energy 225. Okay, Kage Kobayashi and Shufan Zhang trying to hold on to the lead lap right now. It is Sakura Ishibashi leading the way. She's led 35 laps so far in this race. 3 laps led by Natalia Velisovich, who is now 2 laps down. That's why you see Velisovich right there in this group. 7 car. Ishibashi is struggling mightily to try to get around Shufeng Zhang. Allowing a lot of the field to stay close together, though. The handicap at the front of the field is lap traffic. This is BK Glover, who's almost back into the top 10, trying to get around Matthias Michelin to get back to the top 10 after a poor pit stop under caution. Hazel Leon also trying to get back into the top 10, sitting 12th right there. That Fujitsu number 32 machine. Matthias Michelin in the top 10. Gatekeeper to the top 10 right now, ahead of behind Catherine Hart. Sitting in 9th, Nicole Lectie up to 8th. And it's Evangeline Porter in 7th. Wyatt Jones in 6th. Everyone's struggling in the dirty air to try to make passes. Everyone now running so close pace-wise. Watching the front of the field as they still struggle to navigate around Shufeng Zhang and Kage Kobayashi. Laps will tick away pretty dramatically here. And when you're not expecting pit stops for the rest of the race, so this is going to be very interesting to see how this all plays out. Porter Kelly looks to the inside of her teammate and gets around for 3rd. Decisions had to be made, and Alexander will drop down to 6th. In the same vein, Evangeline Porter dispatched Natalia Velicevic. Uh-oh, here goes Artyom Kozlov. Wow, Porter Kelly's picked off two cars in a lap. Got around Alexander for 3rd, and then got around Kozlov for 2nd. And Mia Valdez now up to the podium places at the moment. Porter Kelly on the charge right now, beginning to really close in on try to get that race win while the field is this close together. Kozlov in 4th, Wyatt Jones up to 5th after passing Elise Alexander. Ishibashi still leads. She's led 51 laps in this race. Porter Kelly's led 60. Glover's led 55. These are the 3 main lap leaders in this race at this point. Again, Porter Kelly wants a chance at that race lead once again. Wants to win for the first time this season, for the first time in her return to Champ Car. Oh, here comes Mia Valdez. And sends it to the inside, does Valdez, and around goes Kozlov and Jones again. So as aggressive as Porter Kelly was, Valdez matching it. And Porter Kelly held off Alexander to stem the bleeding. Teammates now 1 and 2, and there's even more roadblocks there. That is Von Sonen. Von Sonen 2 laps down, trying to avoid going 3 down. And teammates are about to duke it out. And don't look too further away. There's Artyom Kozlov and Wyatt Jones. There's Porter Kelly looking for a return to sender, as Kobayashi and Zhang will both get around Anastasius von Sonnen. Can Ishibashi do the same? Maybe. That's a yes. Ishibashi does get through. Everyone else trying to do the same. That is Kozlov in that Airbus number 3. That also gets through. Wild stuff right now. Alexander almost put in a 3-wide situation there by Porter, and really checked the field up just for a moment. Lechty gets through. So will Michelin. So will Glover and Leon. And von Sonnen just does not have the pace right now after being spun around and in the wall. And Glover gets put behind von Sonnen. Cruel fate by Hazel Leon to put Glover right behind the lap traffic. But also that pins Andrew Draco back as well. Wild stuff there. Porter Kelly behind Wyatt Jones, behind Artyom Kozlov, who sits in third behind the Cat Devil Racing duo at the front of the field. Porter Kelly trying to find a way around. Valdez shadowing Ishibashi. Ishibashi, there we go, find a way around Shufan Zhang, potentially. Through turns 1 and 2, Zhang in turn 2 here. Gonna try to defend from Ishibashi, a chance to really separate from the field. She gets it there. How about Valdez? Valdez keeps that door wide open. And Shufan Zhang, that long fight to try to stay on the lead lap, more of a pride thing than anything at this particular stanza, has finally been ousted. Wyatt Jones trying to get around. 4th place car right there. Porter Kelly in 5th. Anthony Porter 6th. Shufan Zhang falls down more and more. Now it's the 42 Akage Kobayashi. The last car on the lead lap in the 17th position. Sorry, 16th position for Kobayashi. As the laps begin to tick away, pressure intensifying at the front of the field. Multiple cars in this fight. Ishibashi leads, now has the most laps led so far. Mia Valdez currently does not have a lap led, neither does Artyom Kozlov or Wyatt Jones. It's definitely Porter Kelly sitting in that 5th spot ahead of Evangeline Porter. The current points leader will stay that way as things currently sit. If she stays in 6th right now, which right now, even if she loses a position on track to Cameron Jackson, stays 6th. But Porter has a pretty decent race car as well. Everyone trying to find a way around and find clean real estate, and there's more lap traffic. That is Crane and Lucero. It never ends in this field right now. It is all over the place. Ishibashi sitting front and center in this race, looking for her first win of the season after being winless in the first 8. Cars ahead now of this lead fight that has pulled the field right back together once again. And Kobayashi opens the door on Crane. You want to talk about having incentive to go for it? There you go. Wyatt Jones gets around Mia Valdez. That's up to third for the Indianapolis 500 winner, who in the closing stages looks strong once again. Porter Kelly has to defend from the 34 of Mia Valdez. Stays ahead at the moment. That's Porter Kelly up to fourth. Big moment. Lap 192 underway. 34 laps to go. Oh, here comes Artyom Kozlov peeking to the inside. Wants a chance at the race lead and is going to have an opportunity to do so. Kozlov to the point. Kozlov, Jones, Porter Kelly. Now your new top three. And Ishibashi in some significant trouble. Trying to hold on. Gets past, and now we'll get passed by Cameron Jackson as well. Oh, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be a very spicy turn of events. Kobayashi holding on to the lead lap for all it's worth, for what he can, because the lead lap cars are inverted for the starting grid for race 2, similar to how it was in Melbourne. That would be pole position for Kobayashi if he can hold on to it. Right now, he's got a car between himself and Kozlov. Whoa, here we go. That's Mia Valdez up to second place. Looking at the race leader. Porter looking for third. Oh, very close right now. It is racing all over the place. Porter could not make the pass on Jones. Side by side out of turn 2, Ishibashi back ahead of Porter Kelly. Coming to 29 laps to go. And it is really popping off now. Mia Valdez wants another race win. Kozlov looking for their first in 2024. Lap traffic has been the equalizer, as we thought it would be, just not in this way. Wyatt Jones in third. Evangeline Porter in fourth. Fifth place, Ishibashi. Sixth place, Porter Kelly. Seventh place, Catherine Hart. Bedlam here in Nazareth under the lights. Nicole Lecty, top 10 at the moment. 8th place for the Iron Maiden. 9th place, Mateus Michelin. 10th place is Hazel Leon. All eyes on the 3, that Airbus number 3 of Artyom Kozlov. Peeks to the inside, feigns to the inside of Crane, almost makes contact with Crane as Kobayashi finds a way around Bianca Lucero. So the door opens twice. And only Kozlov finds a way through on both doors. That is huge for Kozlov. Everyone fighting. Porter on the way backwards after being passed by Cameron Jackson. Jones fighting with Valdez. And there is some separation here. Porter Kelly falling backwards dramatically. Having spent so much time battling, the tires have worn out. They have worn away. What a fight we have seen so far, and there's still some more to go. It just may not be for the race lead, as Kozlov has a giant buffer in the form of Bianca Lucero and Astrid Crane. Second place, Mia Valdez has to find a way around this lap traffic. Wyatt Jones got checked up. Could be under threat here of losing that podium place. 21 laps to go. Oh, Wyatt Jones got a really good run through turn 2 to get around Mia Valdez into turn 3. Door is open. Wyatt Jones up to second place, the Indianapolis 500 champion, in pursuit. Ishibashi back up to third momentarily. That's close, but it should be Ishibashi's there to have, and it is. Here comes Cameron Jackson in the mix. 1 lap down, sorry, 2 laps down. Same with Bianca Lucero. So there's a point to be made if he can get around Lucero and gain some extra spots. Meanwhile, Ishibashi in third gets around Crane, so will Valdez and Porter. Porter right now in the top 5, trying to hold off Catherine Hart, and Nicole Leckie has moved forward a lot. Remember, the lead lap cars all get inverted here. So it'd be a really cruel twist of fate if Kozlov put Kobayashi a lap down in the dying laps of this race, but that is a potential reality that exists right now because it is only Bianca Lucero acting as the dam to the reservoir. That is the lead lap cars battling for the podium places. Cameron Jackson in the mix as well, but he is on pace. Wyatt Jones is trying to have to drive around here. I think winning this race has been lost if you're this far back right now. Kozlov being patient. Right now the race win is in their hands. Wyatt Jones in second, still mired in traffic and really looking with his head on a swivel because Cameron Jackson has been an absolute thorn in everyone's side. He's had the pace, and he's set up so many passes for so many drivers so far in the final moments of this race. Jones peeks to the inside through turns 1 and 2. Very bold, and it doesn't work out. This is going to put him well behind the 8 ball here out of turn 2. He gave it a shot. It was just not a good enough shot. Not well timed. And Kozlov knows that they can take it a little bit easier here. 14 laps to go. Sorry, 13 laps to go. Oh, Cameron Jackson almost did the thing that Wyatt Jones would really not appreciate. Wyatt Jones being a factor in the podium finish for 2 races in a row would be interesting. And that is possible because he is right there and he is on pace. And Wyatt Jones felt the pressure. So he'll open the door, as does Mia Valdez on Ishibashi. The door's open. Jones has gotten through, so has Jackson. And this is quickly becoming a battle for third, which may still be secured by Valdez. 10 laps to go. Absolutely wild stuff here. Over 2.5 seconds to gap. Wyatt Jones can charge all he wants to here, but these laps are so quick. He's trying with everything that he can to try to find a way forward. He's gained a lot of time, but with 9 laps to go and counting, not a whole lot you can do. Chero holding up Porter, Hart, and Leckie. Porter looks to the inside on the front straightaway, similar to what Wyatt Jones did. And it didn't quite work that time, which is going to be very frustrating. And Artyom Kozlov has made way with Kage Kobayashi. Kobayashi will not start on pole position. It now sits in the hands of Simona Leroux. And that was a decision that had to be made for Artyom Kozlov to protect that race lead. Was being more than generous to Kobayashi, but with Wyatt Jones now in the distance looming and was gaining time, it was time to move on. And that's what Artem Kozlov did with 6 laps to go. Wyatt Jones sitting comfortably right now in second, ahead of Cameron Jackson, who is 19th, 2 laps down. And Mia Valdez, who will get another podium here. It is still bedlam, though, for 4th on down, which is where you find Evangeline Porter right now. Queen of the roost, queen of the nest, the hive behind Bianca Lucero. Piece to the inside, nothing going. Waiting for some last lap sins here with 4 laps to go. Looks to the inside, nothing going again. But so did Catherine Hart. Catherine Hart looked to the inside of Porter. So work being done all the way through. 3 to go. Two laps to go. These lap times tick away. 40 seconds away from selling it all. Ooh, Artem Kozlov almost threw it all away there, trying to get around Esther Hofson. White flag is in the air, though. 1 lap to go in the NOS Energy 225, and Artem Kozlov, frustrated with the way the first 8 races have gone, will kick off the second stanza of the season in triumphant style. Rounding for home. Rogers won, Glover won, Kozlov wins. All 3 Team Impulse drivers have won a race this season. Artem Kozlov victorious in Nazareth. Wyatt Jones in second. 3rd place goes to Mia Valdez. Evangeline Porter holds on to 4th, ahead of Catherine Hart, Nicole Lechty, Mateus Michelin, Andrew Draco in the top 10 as well. Sakura Ishibashi ends up in 9th. Hazel Leon in 10th, ahead of Elise Alexander. Alicia Kovalkiewicz, BK Glover in 13th after leading the first 55 laps of this race. Stephanie Borkelli, after wearing out those tires, dropped down to 14th spot. Then you have Simona Leroux, who will start tomorrow on pole position. An outstanding race for Leroux. Does enough to start from pole position, a much needed starting position, given how important the track position game has been in this race. The results scrolling at the top of your screen. We'll go through the full results once again. Artem Kozlov winning by 1.4 seconds over Wyatt Jones. Mia Valdez rounds out the podium here in Nazareth. Evangeline Porter in 4th. Catherine Hart top 5 ahead of Nicole Lechty. Mateus Michelin, Andrew Draco, Sakura Ishibashi, Hazel Leon your top 10. Elise Alexander, Alicia Kovalkiewicz your top 12. BK Glover 13th. Simona Leroux, Stephanie Borkelli 14th. Simona Leroux reverse pole for tomorrow. 15th place today. Kage Kobayashi a lap down in 16th. 17th for Shufan Zhang. 18th Marcus Petrovich. Cameron Jackson in 19th, 2 laps down ahead of Bianca Lucero. Anastasia Sponsona 3 laps down in 21st. Then Natalia Velisevich, Astrid Crane 22nd and 23rd. Thomas Rogers 24th after having an issue early. Esther Hofson, after being spun around and in the wall, ends up 7 laps down in 25th. And the only retirement of this race, starting 26th tomorrow, is Julieta Kani. More racing to come tomorrow. It's a doubleheader. The Champ Car Challenger Series from New Hampshire Motor Speedway. That is on ABN Sports Plus. ABN Sports hosting the second race, the Giant 225, here at Nazareth Speedway for the Champ Car World Series tomorrow. Both those races begin at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 12 p.m. Central, 10 a.m. Pacific. A wild showcase, start to finish. Artem Kozlov finally victorious in Nazareth. But we'll start 15th tomorrow. On behalf of everyone here for the AT&T Champ Car World Series, from Nazareth Speedway, and for Horizon Corporation, for everyone here at ABN Studios, I'm Carmen and Sienna. Stay safe, stay healthy, have some fun. We'll see you tomorrow at Nazareth and in Loudon. So long, everybody.